Hey guys, let's get more news about Warriors, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Draymond Green fires back after Sean Marion claims he was a better defender. Warriors star Draymond Green did not hold back on Instagram this week after Sean Marion, a 16-year league veteran and 4x All-Star, tried to make the case that he was a better defender. In a short statement on social media, Green explained why Marion's take was just plain wrong. "Brother, I guarded Jalen Brunson and Jaylen Brown back-to-back series," wrote Green. The comment is a reference to the 2022 playoffs, when the Warriors won their fourth and most recent championship in the Splash Brothers era, a championship that Green played a huge part in. That year, the Warriors finished third in the Western Conference, with a 53-29 record. While not as dominantly won as some of the other titles, the 2022 championship run is often considered by many to be the most impressive of them all. In the first round, they easily handled a shorthanded Nuggets team, who had no chance of keeping up without Jamal Murray. They moved on to face the Memphis Grizzlies in the Eastern Conference semifinals. Even with Ja Morant leading a tough resistance, the Warriors were still able to close out the series in 6 games. Against the Mavericks in the conference finals, the Warriors faced a serious challenge, slowing down Luka Doncic and Jalen Brunson. The former Mavericks point guard averaged 18.0 points per game in that series, but Draymond was still making his impact felt, limiting what had been a red-hot stretch for him. Green was crucial for the Warriors defensively, and his pressure on Brunson down the stretch helped to put the Mavericks away for good. Coming into the 2022 finals against Boston, the Warriors were already heavily favored to win the series, but they tightened their grip after going down 2-1. The Celtics never crossed 100 points again in the series, and Jaylen Brown was held to 43% shooting from the field. Critics still debate how big of a role Draymond played in that run, but his defense alone is more than enough to make his impact felt. For Green, there's been nobody better than him when it comes to playing consistently great defense in the NBA, and it's hard to argue with the results. Sadly, his recent scandals make it hard for anyone to focus on his game right now. Draymond, a 4x All-Star, continues to prove his worth on the court this season when he's played, but he always seems to find a way to get himself kicked out of games. Earlier this season, Draymond was suspended indefinitely following a series of repeat offenses that caught the attention of the league. As recently as last week, Green went viral for getting tossed 2 minutes into a game for arguing with officials. At only 49 games played this season, Draymond's antics have cost him some significant playing time, and it's hurting that the Warriors do not have their best defender out there for such a large chunk of their games. And while the Warriors still have strong faith in the Big Three, their patience with number 23 will surely not last much longer, given what's at stake for the Warriors right now. With a payroll totaling over $206 million this season alone, the Warriors are paying to win now, and Green's continued outbursts threaten to disrupt the entire process. Even worse, at 34 years old, the window is closing out for Draymond and his co-stars to add more hardware to their trophy case. For now, with no alternatives to consider in the way of a versatile, all-NBA defender, the Warriors have no choice but to trust Draymond to get himself under control so they can finally get back on track and play like the Warriors of old. Why Stephen A. Smith thinks Warriors can still go on playoff run. Much of the NBA world has discounted the troublesome Warriors already, but ESPN's Stephen A. Smith is keeping the faith in the storied franchise. The Dubs have had a roller coaster of a season and have just a 41-34 record to show for it. The team are desperately clinging onto 10th spot in the West to remain in the postseason conversation. Smith was recently asked on First Take if he thinks the Warriors can still go on a run despite their struggles. To which he answered, "I do. First of all, understand how important shooting is. You got to be able to shoot from the perimeter. You got to be able to make free throws come playoff time because obviously, the game doesn't speed up, it relatively slows down to some degree. You can get to the free throw line, and there aren't a lot of teams as efficient as the Golden State Warriors, so I don't think we can ignore that. But they're on a 5-game winning streak. The first 4 of those games were on the road. They won all 4 of those games. This is when noise was being made about the Houston Rockets nipping at their heels, and all of a sudden they go on a winning streak. Do you know that the Warriors are leading everybody in defensive efficiency over that period of time? And basically, 4 of the 5 opponents held to 100 points or fewer. We can't ignore that either. The greatest three-point shooter to ever grace the NBA court, Steph Curry, has been struggling with his shooting numbers during the Warriors' win streak. Smith was quick to laud his teammates for going to another level and keeping the momentum going. Oh, by the way, the wonderful, the wondrous, the greatest shooter God ever created in Steph Curry is only averaging 20 points over this streak, but shooting 41% from three-point range, Smith continued. Just last night, he had 13 points on 5 of 18 shooting, but he still hit 3 of his 5 shots from three-point range. Other dudes are stepping up. And I'm looking at it from that perspective. Your ability to shoot, your ability to score is one thing. But what was the ingredient to the Golden State Warriors' success throughout those years? Defense. They played defense. And that is what they are doing now. They are being effective with it. They now have a 3-game cushion on the Houston Rockets. They got 7 regular season games left. Don't count the Warriors out yet. Steve Kerr provides major injury update on Warriors' rising star. All hands will be on deck when the Golden State Warriors, 41-34, face the Houston Rockets, 38-37, on the road on Thursday, April 4th, in a pivotal match that could seal their spot in the play-in tournament. Jonathan Kuminga will be back on Thursday in Houston, according to Steve Kerr. It's obviously a massive game in the standings, the Athletic Shams Charania said on the Run It Back on FanDuel TV on Wednesday, April 3rd. Houston has been coming right behind Golden State the last few weeks. They had 11 straight wins. But they are now 3 games back at Golden State. That's pretty insurmountable. You gotta win if you're Houston to give yourself even a chance, but, Andrew, Wiggins has stepped up in these 4 games that Kuminga has been out with knee tendinitis. Getting Kuminga back in the lineup, getting him a rhythm before the playoffs, that's going to be big for them. Wiggins continued to step up in Kuminga's absence, firing 23 points to lead the Warriors to a 104-100 win over the Dallas Mavericks on Tuesday, April 2nd, for their 5th straight win. The Rockets were hot on the Warriors' tails last week after rattling off 11 straight wins as they closed the gap to just half game. But the Warriors responded with their current winning streak, including a 4-1 road trip that widened their gap once again heading into Thursday's crucial match. Kuminga last saw action at the start of their 5-game winning streak in Miami on March 26 when he scored 18 points in 32 minutes and finished as plus 21 in a 113-92 Golden State blowout win. Then he missed the next 4 games with a knee injury. Kuminga warmed up before the Warriors' 117-113 win over the San Antonio Spurs on March 31, but he was a late scratch. He was again a game-time decision against the Mavericks, but Kerr held him back once again. He hadn't done anything because of the knee for the last week, Kerr told reporters before Tuesday's win, per Mercury News. He's feeling a lot better. Just got a really good 3-on-3 scrimmage in, the first work he's done since he's been out. So, we felt strongly that he needed to get a couple of days' work in before he's ready to play. Kuminga's absence provided Wiggins more opportunities to regain his confidence since his return from a 4-game absence bridging February and March due to personal reasons. Except for a 2 of 12 shooting dud against the Spurs, Wiggins was solid during Kuminga's absence. He scored at least 20 points in 3 of the Warriors' last 4 games Kuminga missed. Kerr was effusive in his praise of Wiggins following Tuesday night's huge win over the Mavericks. "It was our defense that got us the win," Kerr told reporters. holding those guys to 100 points is pretty difficult. I thought Wiggins was brilliant. He put in so much effort just trying to make Luka work. Luka was amazing as he always is, but that effort really set a tone. Wiggins made Luka Doncic work hard for his 20th triple-double, 30 points, 12 rebounds and 11 assists. And you, fan, what do you think of the situation of Jonathan Kuminga? Leave your opinion in the comments.